Breaking tonight, we have learned of a federal grand jury investigation now into a mosque in the suburbs of Minneapolis, and accusations that members there are being recruited, actively recruited for the terror group ISIS. At the center of all of this is Amir Mashal. He's been on the FBI's radar for over 7 years after being picked up overseas in a case that would wind up involving the ACLU. Joining me now, Judge Napolitano, Fox News' senior judicial analyst. So first, let's talk about this federal grand jury. The FBI confirming to us that the number of overseas travelers, potential travelers, and those that have facilitated the travel to potentially join the jihad is, quote, significant. And what is the federal grand jury likely doing?
Well, the federal grand jury is receiving evidence via a federal prosecutor, an assistant U.S. attorney, who in turn is getting evidence from the FBI. I mean, I'm suggesting this is what's happening. In fact, these grand juries meet in secret. And this would be small pieces of a big puzzle about who is recruiting whom. How
does the FBI get its information? Are they allowed to infiltrate a mosque?
Well, the FBI has to have an open case. And in order to have an open case, it needs what the courts call articulable suspicion. Some suspicion that they can suggest in words as to why a particular human being may be involved with particular criminal activity.
All right, let's talk about this.
It can't just be a hunch, and it can't be an anonymous tip. It's got to be something that they can state and is rational.
Reportedly not long ago, there was an 18-year-old trying to get on a plane bound for Syria from this mosque. The FBI stopped him and refused to let him leave, encouraged him to go back home to his family, in other words. He reportedly pointed the finger at Amir Mashal, who now the 18-year-old, through his lawyer, is suggesting may be a double agent, perhaps suggesting Mashal tipped off the FBI to this travel.
Well, you know, the FBI uses double agents. The FBI sometimes, in return for not prosecuting someone who has committed crimes that the FBI can prove, will use that person as a source of information. But the FBI, I suggest to you, as much as it wants to stop youth from going over there and killing people and perhaps coming back here and killing people, it wants to find the root, the source, the cause, the organizer.
They want to know who the recruiters are. The recruiters are their target.
Precisely. Because the FBI has a lot of tools to stop these kids. They can engage in a sting, whether you think a sting is moral or not, where they pretend to be bad guys and the kids
but let me ask you this.
But they don't want that.
If they get the guy for recruiting, if they get a name, a couple of names at this mosque, which, you know, didn't want to speak on camera, and we asked them, repeatedly. It wasn't just in that moment. We asked them repeatedly to come on. They refused. What could the person be charged with? How could they be stopped?
Well,
and how does that case get proven?
Okay, the crime is providing material assistance to a terrorist organization, and that can be anything short of mere words. So if you're a cheerleader, as reprehensible as this sounds, if you're a cheerleader, I hate America and I want ISIS to win, you can say that. But if you act upon it, if you combine behavior that furthers the terrorist goal. Correct.
Most 18-year-olds can't afford a plane ticket to Syria on their own.
A plane ticket, a map, encouragement beyond mere expression of political activity. Then you are, wittingly or unwittingly, involved in this conspiracy. This is 20 years in a federal prison for providing material assistance to a terrorist organization. That is the crime the
ACLU is trying to protect the rights of these individuals, most of whom are American, and because we're on U.S. soil and they are American citizens, they have the same rights you or I have. Quick final word.
Sometimes the ACLU actually keeps the FBI honest, and I'm glad the ACLU is there. As long as politics is not involved, as long as the Constitution is involved, that's the way the system should work.
Judge, good to see you.
Good to see you.
When asked months ago about this terror group ISIS, President Obama described them as junior varsity. Now, he is denying that. We will fact check the president next. Plus, this man spent decades teaching at a major American university until America heard Ward Churchill suggesting the victims on 9/11 got what they deserved. But Ward Churchill has rarely been challenged over his beliefs until tonight. You thought that the dead Americans were just like the Nazis. However, you had nothing but praise for the 9/11 hijackers. You called them courageous, even gallant. Gallant? Al-Qaeda? The guys who flew those jets into the Twin Trade Centers.